And good morning. Hi there. Yes, I'm going to wait just a few seconds until some people join this live stream. It's going to be a different one. I'm trying something new here. Now, as you can see, first of all, I'm in my office, and it's early in the morning here in Norway, but there's a reason for that. Good morning, hi there. There's a reason for that. I realized that most of you guys actually live in North America, so it's late actually in the evening in North America, but I kind of fall asleep early, so that's why I'm going to have to do it like this. So it's around midnight, I guess, now in some parts, in the eastern parts of America, and on the west coast it will be I don't know, 9 o'clock in the evening. Okay, I'm going to talk about, yes, as I said just a few seconds ago, I'm going to do things a little bit in a different way. It's going to be this live stream will be a little bit different because I'm going to talk about something that is in the news, as you can see from the title. Now, of course, there are bad people around. We all know that there are bad people around. So this case is nothing unique, but it's something that is in the news right now, so most people know about this. The reason why I'm going to talk about it is that there are lessons to be learned, actually. Now, don't get me wrong, this is extreme, of course. We're talking about people who are very bad people, but looking at those people can make us realize actually things about ourselves. And hang on there, I'm not saying that any of us has any such tendencies. It's about becoming caught in a web of lies. That's what I'm going to talk about. In case you didn't know, I'm sure you do, but it's the British royal family, it's tradition, yes. Before I start, I must say I am, it's called being a Republican. Not necessarily that you're on the Republican side in American politics, but it means when you are a Republican, you do not support having a king. So, like many people in Norway, I do not support having a king or a royal family. I want the people in charge to be servants of the people and elected, and so that you can get some new people in there if they don't do a good job. So I do not support a royal family. Oh, welcome. Warren Lead says, this is my first live stream ever. I'm watching from Australia. Thanks a lot. As I said, this is a different one, this live stream. Most often I have been talking about, hi there Trish, I've been talking about stuff in my life. Maybe I will talk about that as well. But basically now I'm going to talk about these lies that we are being presented with. And I think this Prince Andrew it's kind of a perfect example, because it's, now, if you don't know, he was involved with this pedophile. It's Epstein, isn't that his name? I should have made a note. For some reason I tend to forget these names. Epstein, is that how you pronounce it? Let me know. Yes. Okay. Now, who who was killed in prison? I'm not even going to pretend the suicide and all that. He was killed in prison, and he had like this network of very rich individuals whom he supplied underage girls to them, right? So he would, as far as I understand it, he would first get these people into his his mansions and parties and so on. He would supply them with very young girls, and he would then blackmail them, so and Prince Andrew was involved, and there are photos and so on. I believe the photo that has been going the rounds in media and on social media is with him and a girl who is actually 17 at the time, but we all understand that he didn't care. He would probably, he didn't care if they were underage or not. In Norway, the age of legal consent, I think is the term, is 16 years. So and of course these are bad people. These are bad people. Okay, so I won't even. I'm a father, and if something like that happened with my daughter, I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to point. Can you see what's in the corner there? Yeah. So, yeah, okay. These people would then get together. I suspect they would be using drugs and stuff. That I wouldn't be surprised if that was also the case. But obviously the worst was that they would abuse these girls, who were probably scared and yeah. So it's horrible. We're talking about serial abusers, rapists, and the worst of the worst of the worst that the human species can. It's the worst. They are the worst. And I would also like to say that I think it's obviously there is something wrong with people like that, but how these people why are they so interested in very young girls? It's like, I'm going to be completely honest here. I'm 47 years old, and I do not find I don't find very young girls attractive anymore. It's like, if you ask me when I was like 25, you would get a different. No, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong here. I what I'm trying to say, even at the age of 25, I wouldn't be interested in underage girls, of course, but I would be, a girl 18 years old would probably be attractive to me when I was 20, obviously. Okay, but now I'm 47, and my preferences as a man has kind of changed, because I don't know why, but I guess it's natural. Maybe you feel more, more of a relation with people your own age. Uh, it's it's like, um, what I'm trying to say is there is something wrong with these people. Why are they so interested in very, very young girls? There's something wrong with them, and I'm never going to accept tendencies like that. I'm not, even if these girls are above the age of legal consent, they're not getting if a man my age, yeah, okay, I'm ranting here. I get upset, okay? I really hate these people, I I think it's about power, and they have this, they get a kick out of using that power to push other people down. I think it's about that, partly at least. So, now if you look at this interview of Prince Andrew was, he says in that interview, he stayed for a week or something with this Epstein at his place. First of all, why do you stay as a grown man with another grown man for a week? That's very strange. Why did he stay there? When I visit people, I don't. Well, if it's very far away, we might stay the night, but that's very rare, and that's, I don't think. I can't remember now, but it's been a long time. But if practical purposes, for practical purposes, you might have to stay. Might have to stay. And I realize he was a multimillionaire and so on. But why did he stay there for a week? It's kind of obvious, right? So, in that interview, and here's my main point here. In that interview, you look at this Prince Andrew. Hi there, Tony. A bit of a different live stream this time. In that interview, you look at this Prince Andrew, this old man, and you know he's lying. I have actually made a video about how you can, on my main channel, how you can see if people are lying. And, this is a perfect case study. All the blinking and all the, you can tell he has rehearsed and practiced what he's going to say. It's like the perfect, this interview is already, I guess, being used when they train people in, I guess, the police force and so on to learn people how to look for signs, how if someone is lying, and he's lying, and he's lying. You can tell. He's sitting there in his palace, I think, with all the gold and around, golden stuff around him, and he's lying, and he's talking about people who are. Hi there, Grimute. Hi there. And you can tell that he's lying. And I think he knows that people will understand that he is lying, and there are probably hundreds of people who have seen him in these settings, these parties, abusing these girls. And he still goes out there, he's doing that interview, and he's lying. This is about getting caught in a web of lies. This is about living a life, full of lies, and living, yeah, the sweating. Yes. He's like the perfect example of someone who is lying. And as I said, I think he kind of understands that people will see that he is lying, but he has to say this. First of all, he's part of the royal family, so they have to deny these things, even though it's obvious and there are photos. But he still has to go out there and he has to lie because he needs to uphold that image of him being a good man. He's not a good man. He's a criminal and he should be in jail. Now, and here comes the twist, I should say, in. Oh no! Don't get me started on that Joe Biden. That's, yeah, he is creepy. I'm using this as an example. The whole case is it's very simple. That Prince Andrew, he's been using these underage girls, and he should be in jail. He should be in jail. It's very simple. And it's like, I don't even understand why we need to talk about it, but now we are talking about it. But what I want to talk more about now is that sometimes it's good to use extreme and very, very clear examples like this one to illustrate something. And I think many of us we either know people or we're sort of a little bit like that ourselves, that we live partly on lies, that there are lies in our lives that we nourish. And I think we should not do that. I'll start with myself. I have a few lies in my life, and not many, and not very serious, and they only affect myself. One of those lies, I guess, is that I can keep working at this pace for the rest of my life. And I work 7 days a week, and it's not sustainable. So I'm going to make some lifestyle changes. I'm taking 1 day off now every week, and this is my day off. And also my diet is not good enough, but I'm doing this in steps. So I'm doing this in steps. So I'm going to improve my diet. It's not a bad diet, but it could be better, absolutely. I'm going to change my training schedule, because I have to realize that one of those lies that I've been nourishing is that I can get back and to being as strong as I used to be, but I'm too injured, and those injuries won't heal. So I will change my training, and I will give myself new goals. I think maybe getting up on mountain tops will be one of those goals. So we'll see how that goes. So I'm going to change my training a little bit. Now, compared to, of course, it's very easy for most of us to change when we first realize that we are nourishing lies. And because those lies, most likely, they're not that serious, okay? But if you contrast that to someone like Prince Andrew, I think he can't, it's gone too far. The things he has done and the person he has become, there are no way back for people like that. It's 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 you know, it's too extreme. It's too far gone. So he has to keep lying, and that must be horrible. And in a way, I feel that is a punishment in itself, because he knows when he's lying there in his palace alone at night, it must be terrible. I think there is some conscience, there is some concept of what's right and what's wrong in most people, even if only in short glimpses, you know. It must be terrible. And none of us are perfect, but as long as we can, you know, we don't get caught up in our lies, I think we can always turn back and we can improve things. And you know, I'm talking about my diet, so it's really it's like it's nothing. And but I think that, you know, that's my what we can take away from watching that interview, is that even though that is extreme and we're looking at someone who is right, evil and perverted, well, at least he has become evil and perverted. It's extreme, but we all have, maybe, I think most of us have that little, we have those little lies, and we need to identify those lies and stop to stop them. Be honest and true to ourselves. That's I think that's very important. So I realize maybe I could keep working 7 days a week for many years, but I really don't want that life. I want a day off. Yeah, every week. Yeah, I just saw one comment. No lying here. No, I'm not. I'm not talking about lying. I'm talking about those more like illusions. We harbor these illusions, and I think we all do that. So that was my take on the whole case study of the lying prince. Delusions, yes, maybe that's the word. Yeah. So what do you think about this kind of live stream? It was a little bit different, not finished yet, but that was well, thank you. Just my take on the case study of the lying Prince Andrew and what we can learn from that. Thank you. Yes, well, I do some live streams for patrons only. There's a link to my Patreon page in the video description, and the reason I do that is not, well, you have to pay $1 a month to join and support me on Patreon. The reason I do that is not so much about the money, but it's because I want, if I'm going to talk about something more personal, I want some kind of barrier. So I do some live streams for patrons only. Yeah. So yes, Harry Carey says, a great nickname by the way, too many men of your generation, my generation, yes, are busying themselves with banal events, and there are real things to fix and work on. You've been getting a bit on trolling lately, yes, and yeah. Now I have, as I've become older, I find that I'm always honest, and I don't really think that being honest all the time is. Some people say, well, it's actually, that can be nasty if you're always honest. I don't think so. I think first of all, it makes my life easier. I have nothing to hide. But I guess it's easy to say there's nothing very exciting going on in my life. So I have nothing to hide, So then it's easier, I guess, to always be honest, and it makes everything easier. You have to remember lies, Yeah, I'm not always doing the right things, but I'm not. I think it's okay if I make mistakes. I'll say so, Yeah. Blurry Dinosaur says, I risk being fired from job if I'm honest with people. It doesn't make me feel good. I can imagine. And yes. Now, I know people. Until Valhalla, brother. Thank you. GB, hi Björn, good to see you. Good to see you as well. I know people who live lives that are that I'll give you one example. I know a man, and I'm using the term man in its widest. I wouldn't call him a man. He's a wife beater. At least he was. He's a serial wife beater. He is not a good person. He is sometimes seen on TV, national TV here in Norway, and he always presents himself as he has this program now where they try to catch people who swindle other people. Okay, and he always portrays himself like he's obsessed with his looks, and he will always have a nice suit on, and he has practiced. This is probably a sociopath, by the way. He has practiced how to his mannerisms and everything. So it's almost perfected. But he's playing the part. He's always playing the part. And he's a very bad man. And a violent man. But he's only violent against people who are old and women and so on. And he's on TV presenting himself as, you know, like a hero helping people. And of course it makes me sick. But the lies, now I don't know if he has a conscience. I think there is something pathological going on there. So I don't know how much of a conscience he has. But if he has conscience, it must be terrible to be like that. He can never be himself, you know. So there are people like that around, and it's important that we identify them. And I think that these people should be called out, and you should tell them what they've done while other people are present as well, and you should not be timid about that, you know. So did the screen froze, right? Okay, but we're back now. Yeah, good. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Yes, so I want to change subject now. Let's talk about something more positive. Yeah. Let's talk about something a bit more positive. First of all, I'm uploading a video on my main channel in 11 hours. So that will probably be tomorrow morning for those of you in North America, and it will be in tonight for those of you in Europe. Yeah, I'm trying to. I'm reading the comments as well while I'm talking. It makes it breaks up my talking here a little bit. I'm sorry about that. But okay, so I'm uploading a video, and that will probably be it's kind of a series, if you noticed, self-help videos. But I want to make videos that are more. I don't want to make only that kind of videos, but it's kind of what people expect. But then again, I can't be a slave to YouTube. I need to make the videos I want to make. So it will probably hurt the channel a little bit when I change the direction. Now, I have this channel here, of course, so you could say that I could put all the videos here, but I'm not going to have any channel on YouTube that I don't feel 100% is what I want to do. So I'm going to, the main channel will always be a little bit, you know, it will have different topics and different videos on it. Well, thank you. Thanks a lot. So, well, thank you, Björn. Thank you. The Matrix has you. Thank you. I hope it hasn't, but okay. There will be more videos of the more, you know, mental health, masculinity, self-help, that kind of videos. But I want to. Well, I hope I'm not in the Matrix. I want to kind of progress a little bit now into now what my mission in a way is to first get people interested in going out in the woods, enjoying nature, and then have some instructional videos, some videos that show you how you can do the bushcrafts, you know. And I'm not an expert, but I know I have many skills that I want to share, and I'm constantly learning, so I want to share what I'm learning as well. And we'll see. I'm giving you just a little bit of in the start of the video coming up. It's just a little bit there that will I'll see in the statistics if that's popular. I can actually see that in Hirikiri. I'll answer that one. I can actually see on the statistics. I have a tool where I can see if people are dropping off or if they are interested. Any musicality? Well, I would not say I have any musicality, but I have ordered a lyre. You know, it's a kind of a harp actually. It's the Matrix has you. Well, did you send me an email? If so, it's in the inbox. I'll get to it. And Grimute says woods, masculinity, and bushcraft. You can't go wrong. I think it's a good combination. I am going to try to learn how to play the lyre. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's the medieval age Viking instrument where you... Yes, lyre. Yes, Phantom Apprentice lyre, where you hold the strings from the back, like, and you play. I will teach myself 3 or 4 simple chords, and then I will play for you in the video. I think yes, strumming is the right word. Safety tips for ladies hiking in the woods. I think it's just safe. I don't know. But you have bears, of course, in North America. And Leif's Art says, I plan on going to Norway soon. My granddad is from Haugesund and his dad from Bergen. Yeah, well, Einar Selvik, yeah, he's my neighbor. I don't feel safe hiking alone. I think in Norway it would be totally safe, and but then again, I don't know how it is in other countries. I know it's safe here. It's just safe here. We don't have... Well, actually, it's not safe here because of the hunting right now, and I can't go up in the woods here because of local boys and their toys that go boom. And I've talked about that before. I'm glad this is not a video on my main channel, because now we're talking about in the comments about weapons and so on, and YouTube doesn't like that. But knock yourselves out. I don't know anything about guns, but so I can't really comment on that. I only know that I don't like when people here, the hunters, they shoot right behind me just to show everyone how tough they are. I don't like that. Yeah. Yes. And also about you know, I've had that question before about Roy Allan Thomassen says the most dangerous animal we have in Norway are the hunters and the moose. Yes, the moose when you hit them with your car. Yes, that's very tragic. And I'll tell you what, and I have this directly from the police here actually, because my wife works in the police. And did you know that one of the most important reasons why the moose, they at this time of the year, they go out to the woods and onto the roads, and then many of them sadly get hit by cars. It's because of the hunting activity. And I know some people, they say, well, it's because of the snow and it's easier for them to walk on the roads. No. In many parts of Norway, we don't have snow. There are no snow here, and we have the same problem here. That's what I've been told. So the amount of shooting, the amount of noise and smell and disturbances that these hunting teams are making, that makes the moose to flee, and they will run out onto the roads. Yeah. So, where was I? Yes, safety for, or what women should think about when going bushcrafting, camping. It's a bit difficult for me for obvious reasons. Yeah, Nick Newman, that says that's why I prefer bow hunting. Now, I talked about that before, but so I won't get into that again. Let me just say, first finish the part women hiking, women bushcrafting, and so on. For obvious reasons, it's a bit difficult for me to know what, if there are anything special you need to think about. But there are, as mentioned here, there are some good outdoors women on YouTube, and so I would recommend watching those. And I usually recommend Spirit Forest. She's a very experienced hiker, and she teaches women hiking and the outdoors. So yeah, she's on YouTube. Bow hunting, yes. So good night. Bow hunting. I used to be against bow hunting. But then I kind of changed my mind, because if you had like a very long training, you had to do like a solid course, you know, you had to the Matrix has you. Well, I can't email you because I don't know how to, but you can email me if you go to my info page and send me an email. Send an email to the email address that you will find there. It takes a little bit of time. It takes a little bit of time before I can reply because of the number of emails, but I will get to it. So if you could do that, that would be great. Yeah, so bow hunting. I used to be against it, but now I'm thinking, you know, if that could prevent the people who let me put it this way. What I'm seeing is people driving their cars to the edge of a field, and then they walk their rotund bodies a little bit into that field, and they sit behind some bushes and they shoot. It's disgusting, you know. It's disgusting because they don't know how to hunt, and it's disgusting because there is no connection with nature. No connection with nature at all. And I imagine that if you had like either, you know, if you had a, you know, like an education, some kind of education that you had to take, so that you are, you know, everyone who walks out with a bow, they're good at using that bow. But it's still more difficult, and you have to get closer to the animal. Maybe that would be better, you know, because then you wouldn't have the idiots out there. And someone mentioned here, I just noticed that tracking, yeah, trigger happy loud asses, that's what they are. Yes, Chad says, hunting takes years of practice. Tracking, watching out to land shifts. You can't hunt in one area year after year, else you teach the animals to avoid that area. It disrupts natural. Yes. Now, you get it, right? And that's what I'm talking about. And these people here, it's the opposite. It's the opposite, because they hunt on that field right behind my house every year, and they use dogs to scare the prey out onto that field, and it's disgusting. I wish actually, and I never thought, if you had asked me when I was younger, I would never have said this, but I actually wish that I had been brought up in with some kind of hunting, but the hunting that you are talking about, with the tracking, with the respect, with the understanding of nature. But it's not, at this point, I'm much too emotional actually. I wouldn't enjoy it now. I would do it if it was my only option, but you know, and I won't say I will never do it, but I wouldn't enjoy it. But I wish I had been brought up with that, and someone had taught me that. I wish I had, but yeah, it's too late for me now. It's not something I want to do anymore, or ever, you know. But anyway, that's my opinion on that. Yeah, I know I'm probably very subjective about the whole hunting thing there, and there are probably good hunters out there, but I haven't met them. I hope the reason is that they are deep into the woods. That's why I don't see them or hear them. That's what I'm hoping for, but I don't know. I don't know. So, yeah. Yes. On a personal note, I'm getting a new car, finally. This is not a car channel, but Chad says, we are all a part of the land, just some of us forgot how to treat it right. Yes. Thank you, I'm getting a new car. Not the most, you know, I thought I would get a car that not many people have, and I had this fantasy of buying a Land Rover Defender, but this is Norway. The taxes are insane, and it would cost more than the double. Yes, as SUV, of course. It would cost more than the double of the car that I'm actually getting, and it wouldn't be a better car. So yeah, I'm getting. I'll make a video about that. But the good thing, there are many good things about that car. I can sit comfortably in the car, so it's big. It will have a clearing of like this much in my garage, so it's a big car by Norwegian standards, not by American standards. It's a big car, and I can actually, if you put the back seats down, you can lie and sleep in the back of the car. And for me, that's a big advantage, because then I can go travel further. And there have been quite a few times when I have been doing, for instance, a reading, or I've been doing a lecture somewhere, and I drive back in the late hours, and I've had these, when you're sitting there like this and you fall asleep for like a second maybe. I don't want that anymore. I don't want that to happen anymore. And even if you stop the car and you sleep sitting up in the seat there, it's not really proper sleep. So I will now have the option to get a few hours of proper sleep in the car, and I can also go camping with the car actually, which I always wanted to do. So I'm looking forward to that. I will get the car maybe in 2 weeks' time. So yeah. Now, Milton says, if you go to sleep by your driving, that's a bad thing. Just some wisdom to get freely to people. I know it's not. That's why I'm saying, if I get that tired, I will stop the car and I will sleep for a few hours in the car, because it's dangerous, of course. Yeah. Well, it's still dark outside. Gregory says, any type of camping is good in my book. Yeah, it's I'm going to get have some camping gear in the car, and I can have a campfire maybe, and in the morning, and yeah, I think it will be great. I'm looking forward to that. Stopping the car before you go to sleep, that sounds like... No, it's not a Jeep. It's not a Jeep, it's an Asian car. It's an Asian car. And the reason is that American cars with big engines, and Land Rovers. No, it's a Mitsubishi Outlander, and you have to get those cars, the big cars. First of all, I wouldn't be able to fit the car in my garage, which I really want to do because of the snow. And I want a new car. I decided I want a new car this time. Now the thing is, you really have to understand the tax system in Norway when it comes to car. It's insane. It's like, now let me translate to dollars. I'll try. The difference between the Mitsubishi Outlander and Jeep Wrangler or Land Rover Defender, or any Land Rover really, would be how much is it now? In pounds it would be about 50,000 pounds. How many dollars? It's too early for me to calculate this. Yeah, so you're paying, so it's double the price, okay? It's double the price. So you can buy 2 of those other cars for 1 of the Land Rovers. And honestly, they're not that much better or better at all. And I looked into this in detail. And it's purely the taxes that you're paying. So, and I don't want to, 60,000 American dollars. Okay, yes. Yeah, sounds about right. And it's insanity for a car to add that much just in taxes, you know. Of course, yes, the car is more, that Land Rover, for instance, it would be more expensive than the Mitsubishi, but still the taxes, they are insane. So maybe you didn't know this, but actually in Norway it's quite common to buy cars with no back seats. Why? Well, because if you buy a car without back seats, it's classified as a working car, or like a truck, or not a truck, no, lorry. Lorry would be the right word, I guess. And then it's much cheaper. But I have kids, you know, and I need all the seats. So, yeah. Yes, the Outlander can have 7 seats. Yes, I know, but I hope I won't need 7 seats. I'm done with kids. I have 2. That's enough. So, yeah. But you know, I know people who have more kids, and they have those 7 seat. They have 3 rows with seats in their cars. And grandkids. Yeah, well, it's going to last a few more years before there are any grandkids, but yeah. And I have to have a 4-wheel drive because where we live, it's in the rural area with the ice and the snow. So some mornings there are just a lot of snow and ice, and we wouldn't get anywhere without a 4-wheel drive. So yeah. Yeah, 7 seats make a great bed. Yes, it's actually in this car. It's you put the back seats down, and then you have like 190, almost 2 meters there, and it's completely flat, so it's awesome. I'll be sleeping there while I'm car camping. It won't be, you know, you have these videos, van life. They buy old vans and they make them like into campers. So it won't be that, but sort of, I guess. van life without the building. Yeah. Now, well, thank you, Gregory. Thanks for joining us. And Grimute. Oh no, you're still here. Uncle Bud, thanks for joining us. Should get a Volkswagen bus and paint it up like the Mystery Machine. Yeah, those old Volkswagen buses, they are expensive now. I want one, but they are very expensive, you know. And where should I keep it? You know, it's it's like no, it's too complicated for me. Not going nomad, said Tony. No, I'm not going nomad, but I think it is nice to be able to. Yeah, the Toyota Tundra. Yeah, that would be almost illegal to own in Norway. I am kind of looking forward to driving that car up, you know, in the mountains. Sleep in the car and go camping, walking around. The freedom, I like that. Milton says, I want a shell of a Volkswagen bus and stick it on a really good four-wheel drive, and it can be my house and car. Yeah. Shooting near someone is okay, but no way we can have tundras ripping your house. Yeah, it's funny, but okay, yeah, the hunting again. The hunting. We have in Norway, we are so great here. We are the best. We are world champions at protecting the wildlife and nature. We are the greenest nation of all nations. We are so great here. No, I'm kidding, of course. In Norway, I think. No, I know. For instance, there's a national park right up by the coast here. You can go there. You can not camp there. You cannot light a fire. You cannot pick a flower. You can't do anything there. But you can hunt there and you can fish there. That's how it is in Norwegian national parks. The insanity. It's like, yeah, what's this? Face palm? Is that what they call it? The insanity. Yeah. But anyway, no, you can't pick flowers in those national parks. But they can shoot the animals there. Let me just give you a little bit of an update of what's coming. First of all, the video later today or tomorrow morning for those of you in North America. And please help the video, share the video to social media, and you know, so yeah, do what you can if you have time. Give it a like and a comment, maybe. And also there will be a link there to my Instagram account, and let me just explain this because I've had some criticism because of that. YouTube is changing, okay? Well, thank you, Chad, thank you. YouTube is changing and nobody really knows where YouTube is going right now. It's it's a bit difficult right now. What I'm trying to say is that since we don't know what is going to happen, I don't have a choice. I need to branch out and be present on several social media platforms. And the YouTube competitors like BitChute, they are not really good options. The first thing that happened on BitChute for me was that I went on BitChute. I am on BitChute, but I don't upload stuff there because the first thing that happened was that my material was stolen and put on someone else's channel. So Instagram at the moment is, the way I see it, the only option that is not controlled or influenced too much about now Instagram is the only option as a competitor to YouTube. It's not the same, of course, but I need to be present on Instagram, and I need actually to build my subscriber base on Instagram to 10,000. That's a magical numbers. You get a lot of other features then that will make my life easier. I can time uploads and so on. Thank you, Tony. Thank you. And I know, yes, Instagram is owned by Facebook. I don't like Facebook at all. Milton, yes, Milton says social media is for those without real lives. Save yourself from it. It's I've said something along those lines myself, but it's also part of I'm dependent on being present on social media. If I'm not present on social media, my book sales will suffer dramatically. So I can't go to my publishers and say, well, I'm quitting social media. That would be catastrophic. I don't have a choice, because people will, well, you get what I'm saying here, okay? The video froze a little bit. What I'm saying here is that I don't have a choice. As a novelist, I need to be present on social media. And if YouTube is changing so that they will cater to, the talk show hosts and celebrities and stuff like that, and hide other creators or hide the real creators, well, they might do that. We don't know. But it's moving somewhat in that direction, to put it mildly. I have to be present on the other platforms. I wish it was not like that, because I think YouTube is a great platform and the best we have now. I'm just saying, I don't have a choice, and I have to adapt to how things are at the present and how things are changing. I have to adapt. So I still believe that you should not spend too much time on social media. I think Facebook, especially Facebook, is they have crafted the whole platform to make you dependent, to make you addicted. Chad, well, thanks a lot. That's very nice of you to say. I'm just hoping that YouTube will become sensible again and understand that they need to go back to what they used to be, Yeah, YouTube has turned into a money-grubbing organization now, and that's sinking the ship. It is. They can't go. The changes. There are changes you only will know about if you are a creator. We have the COPPA, the Child Protection Act, which is a good thing, but the way they are implementing it just tells me that these politicians, they don't know what they're talking about at all. So for my channel, I think I'm safe, you know, but how they are threatening creators with fines, these corrupt these bloated corrupt politicians, that really makes me sick, you know. No. And it's not about the kids. It's if you ask me, the whole COPPA problem, those changes that they are implementing now, it's a result of old media lobbying, trying to get these politicians to make it very difficult for individual creators to make a living on YouTube. That's what it's about. And I'm not going to believe anything else. It's you have to be naive if you don't think that old media, like the TV stations, TV networks, and so on, if they don't, of course they are lobbying. They are lobbying and they are trying to convince the politicians to make it difficult for individual creators. And you know, that's why they are implementing these rules now. So yeah, just follow the dollar. Yeah. And I will say that first of all, my channel, I marked my entire channel as for adults. And I think my videos are for adults or above 13 years old. But I also know that there are kids watching my videos, some of them with their parents. I've had emails from families and they have been watching, they write, we are watching your videos and they are inspiring us, and now we will we have a tent and we will go camping. And now YouTube and these corrupt politicians, they have ruined that. So back to yeah, it's actually very sad. And I know there are channels made for kids that are really great, you know, and positive, and they are essentially taking away their ability to make money. And if you don't make money, well, for me, you know, it's like this is not my daytime job. So yeah, I think it's terrible actually that they are taking away the livelihood of individual creators. And so I guess we're, as creators, we're all thinking, what's next? What's next? You know, what's next? So that's why I'm kindly asking you to follow me on Instagram, and that's why I'm going to put a link in the videos from now on. Yeah, the people will always find another way, says GB. I do not discourage. I try not to. It's yes. Let me answer that. This I have two. This is a mask here. It's a berserker mask, I call it. Not saying the berserkers wore masks, but it's a bear mask. And this is not a mask, it's Odin. Yeah. Harry Curry, well, that's extremely kind of you. and I value that absolutely. So yeah, I would like to say that I was planning to make a series of videos for kids, like how to handle a knife in a safe way, how to make a campfire, what can you do, what can't you do as a kid, and things like that. Because there are many kids who don't have parents who can teach them those skills. Now, I can't do that. I can do it on Instagram, but I can't do it on YouTube. It's totally out of the question. It's the kids now, they will have to watch unintelligent, stupid stuff, because, you know, if I say that, well, this is how you can use a knife in a safe way, this is how you can make a campfire, and this is how you can carve a little stick so that you can, you know, fry sausages over the campfire. No. That's illegal now, you know, and it would get my entire channel in trouble. So it's sad, because as I said, I know there are kids out there who want to get out in nature and want to do these things, you know, out in the forest, and they don't have parents who will teach them that. So yeah. So thank you, YouTube, and thank you, politicians, and thank you, TV networks, for your lobbying. We won't be able to teach kids wilderness skills now. Yeah. But again, I will try to use Instagram for those videos. For those, you know, I'm still not. I don't understand Instagram that well, but I will use that as a platform now, as an alternative to YouTube. In those cases where I know that YouTube will not accept my videos. There is something called Instagram TV. I'm just getting to know Instagram, and I've been uploading photos and some few videos, but I don't know much about Instagram. But I'll look into it more now. But anyway, a long live stream. This was a long live stream, and just to recap, is that what you call it? It's we started talking about the whole case with this Prince Andrew. Yeah, thank you. Prince Andrew, and how he is kind of a perfect example of someone who has entangled himself in lies, and how he, as well, he should be in jail, and, you know, as I said, he's an evil man, he should be in jail, but you can tell he's lying, and he needs to lie because his whole life is now a lie. And that's a very extreme example, of course, but still, we all have tiny lies. Maybe most of us have tiny lies, and I said that I'm going to be more honest with those illusions or delusions. So one example is that I've been telling myself that I can, you know, keep working 7 days a week. I won't that's not sustainable. So I will have 1 day off every week. I will, yeah, and I don't have to repeat all of it, but yeah. Okay, and that was in the first part of this live stream. Periscope TV. It's very, you know, I need to reach a lot of people, so at the moment Instagram is the only option except YouTube. But don't get me wrong, I will of course be going full steam ahead, damn the torpedoes, on YouTube. So another video will be uploaded later today, or for those of you in North America, tomorrow morning. Yes, of course, I'm still making videos on YouTube. Of course. Full steam ahead. Yeah, and let's get to 200,000 subscribers. Okay, thanks to everyone who joined the live stream. It was a good one, I think. John says, I watched you all the way from Los Angeles. I've been to Los Angeles, actually. Okay, I'll see you soon. Have a wonderful night or day, whatever it is. Okay, I'll see you on the main channel in the new video there, actually. Okay, bye-bye.